Everything with him's a guess.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Interesting book coming out from Seth Wickersham. McNugget, set this up and give us your scenario. What if that had happened here?
Yeah, so in an upcoming book called American Kings, A Study into the Quarterback, Seth Wickersham talked to a bunch of quarterbacks, including Caleb Williams and his father. And in the preview of the book, trying to stir up some interest, these were some of the snippets that ESPN wrote about to draw up some interest in the book. So, Ann, if you want to take these full here. The first quote comes from Carl Williams, Caleb's father, saying, "Chicago is the place quarterbacks go to die." Carl Williams, Caleb's father, told Seth Wickersham, author of American Kings. Later in the excerpt, Seth Wickersham wrote, "But Caleb was concerned that if they did try and the Bears refused to trade him, it would make a tough situation worse. In the end," Caleb Williams told Wickersham, "I wasn't ready to nuke the city." What you don't see there is Carl, Caleb's father, saying that they looked into numerous different ways to circumvent the draft and force their way to another team,
including
the Minnesota Vikings, a division rival.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to, as Caleb said, nuke the city, they decided to just accept it, head to Chicago.
They looked at legal action. They looked at like the United Football League.
Going to play in Canada or the UFL or whatever.
UFL. So my question, to make this Cleveland-based, because we're a Cleveland-based show, what if a Browns player did that? What if the Browns had drafted a quarterback and a year later it came out that he had said these things about not
that he was trying to go to Pittsburgh?
Listen,
example.
Browns fans are so desperate they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care if he plays well. Now, if he doesn't play well, they boo him out of the stadium. But if he played well, I'd be like, you know what? That's fine.
Took him out of context.
Yeah, not a big deal.
He always looked the other way.
Yeah, if he was, it all depends. If he was, like the kid from the Commanders, and he came in and Jaden Daniels came in and was a monster, no one would care. We'd just be like, well, we'd actually call it fake news. We'd be like, that never happened.
Seth's making it up.
He made it up. He has an axe to grind. But if he
Even though he's quoting the dad.
right, word for word on tape. But if he comes out and he sucks, his career is basically over. I'm gonna tell you why. In Cleveland, bro, for a team that don't win, and that's not a really large city, we go crazy. Like the fans, there's a certain amount of population that if you get on their bad side, especially when it says I don't want to play in your city I want to play in Pittsburgh, it's over.
Yeah.
They're gonna just wait. You could win 5 years in a row, and they're gonna wait till you have a bad year and get you up out of here.
I don't know about that.
I mean, 5 years in a row winning. That Super Bowls.
We've never experienced 5 years of winning in a row. So
you mean winning records?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We don't do that here.
That's wild.
Now look, they don't do that in Chicago anymore either. But once upon a time, they did.
Didn't Bernie have 5 years of winning records?
I don't think so. That sounds like something we have not accomplished since Jim Brown played.
86, 87, 88, 89, 90, maybe 85, 86, 87, 88, 89.
I don't know.
If you pull,
I can tell you this: it hasn't happened since.
I mean,
then.
I'm going back 40 years?
40 years. So in the new Browns organization, you are correct. That was the old Browns.
I don't know that we've had 3 winning seasons in a row in the new Browns organization.
I don't either.
I don't think we have. I would bet that we have not.
You have not won a division
because Baker was checkerboarding years.
Yeah,
10-6, 6-10, 8-8. Whatever they were.
Right.
We don't win like that. And so if you won 5 years in a row, you could suck for 5 years in a row too.
That's crazy.
We gave a coach an extension after 0-16.
Have not won the division since '89. That is like.
You said 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
I'm on it. Stand by.
All right.
I mean, they tried winning from 2018 through 2024, and they got one playoff win.
One.
In a 7-year contention window. They got one playoff win.
And broke up the band.
Spent the most money
in the history.
Found it.
All right, here we go.
The last time the Browns had 5 winning seasons in a row.
Yeah.
It was longer than 5. It was 63-69.
That's Jim Brown.
69.
The Jim Brown era.
What were they? 85-89.
They had 1 year in there where they were either 8-8 or 7-9.
They went 4 years in a row, but 85 was 8-8.
8-8. Yeah.
86 12-4, 87 10-5, 88 10-6, 89 9-6, which gives you the 4.
And what was 90?
3-13.
Woo!
Yeah, we fell off that cliff real hard.
Was that might have been the 51-0 Pittsburgh win.
Might have been.
And then it unraveled after that.
It's really hard to believe that how inept this organization, with different owners, different coaches, different GMs, different quarterbacks, the one constant has been losing. Yeah. And so if you had a guy that came in here, if we had found out that Baker, for instance, had said before, anywhere but Cleveland.
Yeah.
And he had Pop saying, is there any chance you can get us to Pittsburgh? After his Jets coming out party and that first season where he took us to the playoffs, we'd have been like, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
He wants to be here now. He loves it now.
Listen, that never happened.
And that was just one season.
Yeah.
So what the stunning thing to me is that this is coming out. All NFL dads, please hear this. Be quiet. When has a dad intervened and it's worked out well? When have we said
Archie Manning?
Once.
Man,
Got Eli to New York. Won a Super Bowl. Won 2 Super Bowls.
Once.
true.
And that might be the only one.
That might be the only one.
But hey,
The
But
OBJ dad thing worked out
but
real well, didn't it?
Archie Manning had the NFL juice also that none
did.
of these other dads
You
had.
can't get
So
that
that's a rare
off.
example.
don't you try. You not Archie. You better stop.
Yeah, that's only one guy can do that. You got to be royalty. All right, we're out of time. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather that we're going to have today, and the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show will be back on Monday. Peace and go Guards.
Yes, sir.